Well, the start of Raw was definitely something, weren't it, viewers? Just as the match between Triple H and Curtis Axel was beginning, out comes Vince McMahon making yet another appearance on WWE Raw. He first DQs the match, which makes Triple H restart the match. Vince McMahon forfeits Triple H, giving Curtis Axel the second win. And Triple H right now is very frustrated. He wanted to beat Curtis Axel his way. So what does he do? Gives us a 60-minute Iron Man match. And as much as that match would be something that's not happened in the WWE for a while, WWE are not giving us that match anymore. So Vince McMahon comes down, takes the ring bell and takes the microphone away from Justin Roberts, leaving Triple H very frustrated because Vince McMahon has came out and walked all over Triple H, which leaves Triple H going backstage in so much fury to look for Vince McMahon. But he comes across Stephanie, who pleases him. He's not getting any younger. Please don't hurt him. No, please don't. And later in the night, Stephanie sets up a plan to get Triple H and Vince McMahon in the office at the same time together. Once in the office, they're both very frustrated to be there with each other. And Vince McMahon makes some good points. The WWE is a business. He cares for the business comes first. And Triple H just wants to go up there and fight because that's who he is. Triple H is someone who goes out there and just brutalizes people. Or that's what Vince McMahon wants from Triple H once again. The two end up hugging it out. And yes, this is not what I expected to see from Triple H and Vince McMahon, but when they're both trying to please Stephanie, they agree to hug it out, even though Vince McMahon doesn't want to hug other men, and Triple H has no desire to hug Vince. But they end up doing it, and I wonder what's going to come next week. A family photo, a sing-along, a family disco. I don't know, but this, you could tell that this is not over yet, and poor Curtis Axel got overshadowed by a bigger feud in the WWE's eyes. And one match I was very happy to see was Kane, the big red monster, or used to be, versus Dean Ambrose. And the first thing I liked about this match, it's been happening quite a bit recently, is that Rollins and Reigns, gave him the respect and left. So it was a one-on-one fight. But during the match, one of the highlights is the ring bell returned. Yay! Now ring that bell, because to start this match, there was no bell, so these two just fought. But I guess that was okay, because quite early in this match, the Shield come out and start attacking Kane. But somewhere probably near the ramp, there was Orton and Daniel Bryan. Keep an eye on this match, because they end up coming out, and the first thing I thought was, oh, they're going to make a 3-on-3 again. Even though we've seen that match, they're all there, so I was expecting it. But luckily, the WWE had other plans for Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. And because of WWE's great idea of using the app, we got to vote for Daniel Bryan's opponent. We could either choose Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. And over the commercial, we all voted for Daniel Bryan to go one-on-one with Seth Rollins. And that left Roman Reigns to face Randy Orton. Why I'd say his name in that voice? Maybe because I'm used to saying Orton that kind of way. And backstage we had an argument between Orton and Daniel Bryan, arguing over SmackDown and how things are going to go tonight when they have their individual matches. This brings out Vicky as Kane's trying to split these two up like the counselor Kane is. And Vicky announces that Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan at Payback will not be against each other, but instead they'll be teaming up as a tag team known as RK-No, which is very clever thanks to the commentary table who were trying to come up with a tag team name for these two. And Kane thought, no, this is not right. I guess he wanted to be Daniel Bryan's tag team partner. But didn't Kane ditch Daniel Bryan thinking you're on your own or you're left with Orton? Okay, but luckily Vicky Guerrero had other plans for Kane, as at Payback, Kane will be against Dean Ambrose for the United States Championship. Yes, they're saving this for the Go-Home show to book these matches, but at least they make sense and they're matches that are going to be pretty good, I am sure. But, you know, maybe this is a friendly night because Kane ends up hugging Vicky Guerrero, saying he always liked her before doing that evil laugh he does. Yes, this gave us matches for Payback, and I guess forwarded on the whole possible Orton and Daniel Bryan and Kane storyline. During the Miz vs Cody match with Barrett on commentary, we get the news that at Payback it will no longer be a triple threat match between Miz, Barrett and No, I'm saying it wrong. Fun Done Go. Instead, it's going to be Barrett versus The Miz. And Barrett seems very happy with this because in Barrett's opinion, Fandango was too soft for this match. But this match goes down with, even though Cody Rhodes is against someone who I'd like to see him in a match or a feud with, but The Miz wins with a figure four leg lock. And just as Barrett's about to get into the ring, Barrett is a bit late, but thanks for making the move. Out comes Paul Heyman, who announces that at Payback it will indeed be a triple threat, as the third person in this match is none other than Curtis Axel. So are we expecting Curtis Axel to become the new Intercontinental Champion? I think so. But that obviously means that this match that Triple H and Vince were talking about backstage, wanting it, not wanting it, we're not going to get Triple H versus Curtis Axel for the final time. Oh well, at least we're going to get to see Curtis Axel at the pay-per-view. Chris Jericho's in the ring next, and he's cutting a promo on CM Punk in a match at Payback. He goes on to saying how these two have similarities. They both were brought in the same, they both have the same mindset, and how they expect nothing more than the best, especially from each other. But Chris Jericho needs to win at Payback. And if this is to prove that you're best in the world, well, hence the last storyline, CM Punk beat you at the pay-per-views to prove that he's the best in the world, right? But he did promise one thing. At the end of their match at Payback, neither men will ever be the same. Out comes the returning Dolph Ziggler. And as Ziggler's cutting his promo, Jericho's in the ring going blah, 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 just like he did to Paul Heyman. Well done, Chris Jericho. Ziggler needs something ready for his match against Del Rio at Payback. And instead of giving him his time, you interrupted him by shutting him up by going blah, blah, blah. Jericho then says, why don't you come into the ring and let's give you your chance to shake off the rust and get yourself ready for your match against Del Rio. Ziggler could have done that to show that he's ready, but instead he sends in Langston to face Jericho. Not much to this match. Langston shows his powerhouse. Jericho shows his quick maneuver and good style wrestling in the ring. The thing to take away from this match is, as they're wrestling, you have Ziggler distracting Jericho only for Del Rio to come down to attack Ziggler, which distracts Langston temporarily, only for Langston to turn around, get codebreakered for the 1, 2, 3. And all I'll say now is, guys, see you at Payback. Next, we had two guys which we don't get to see that very often. Maybe because the WWE just don't have any ideas for them. which is Sin Cara versus Cesaro, with Zeb Coulter on commentary with no Jack Swagger. Well, this first got me thinking, is Zeb Coulter gonna get Cesaro in a part of his tag team? Because with Swagger not working the main event, with Cesaro not really getting a push of any kind right now, are we going to see the tag team of Swagger and Cesaro? As Cesaro beats Sin Cara after Sin Cara did a nice slammy pin thing he did, but only for a 2 count, as Cesaro locks Sin Cara into a sleeper hold before hitting his finisher for the 1, 2, 3. Okay, if I'm expecting something from this, it would be a possible Zeb Coulter getting a tag team from Swagger and Cesaro. Now, from the first match from the poll, we have Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns with Bryan on commentary. Not really much to this. I was more interested in the follow-up match, but we had Daniel Bryan gradually showing some involvement in this match, but not much to it, as we go on to the next match quite quickly, which is the match that I wouldn't mind seeing a feud from, and the match I was quite excited to see when it was teased early in the night. And that is Bryan versus Seth Rollins. This match I was really into. Great match, very entertaining. A match I would say was probably one of the best of Raw, if not the best match on Raw. It ends up with, after a great performance from both wrestlers, Daniel Bryan rolling up Seth Rollins for the 1, 2, 3. And just when we thought that was it, we have Daniel Bryan celebrating, getting the crowd alive. Yes! 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 He kicks Seth Rollins, who comes back to revenge, in the face to turn around and get RKO'd. And then you have a little stare between Daniel Bryan and Orton, but it seems like they could be on an okay page. And now we get to find out who Kaitlyn's secret admirer is. She's in the ring wearing a see-through top, being quite distracting, and she called out her secret admirer, who just happens to be dun, 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 Langston in a suit. Very smart indeed, you know. He has some flowers for Kaitlyn. But instead of continuing the tease of Langston being a face, he just attempts to kiss her, looking all passionately, but slams her down to the ground. And out comes AJ. Very happy, lovely, jubbly AJ. AJ goes on saying how Kaitlyn weren't there when she was hurt through the likes of Kane, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, John Cena, and how Kaitlyn is nothing but trash and such an unlovable cow. Ouch, girl. And she goes on saying no one gives a damn about Kaitlyn. Our Divas champion, no one, well, I guess she could be right about that, but she's going to be stealing the Divas championship from Kaitlyn at Payback. You go, girl. As long as you wrestle and don't do some cheap roll-up and that's the match done over with, I'd be saying go for it. It could be something to look forward to at Payback. Sandow defeated R-Truth after cutting a quick promo on Sheamus, and then Sheamus cut a quick promo on Sandow after the match. That's all. Now for the main event segment, which was made between Brad Maddox, Vicky Guerrero, and Vince McMahon, which was a 30-man lumberjack surrounding the ring, while John Cena in the ring and Ryback on the ramp talking about their match at Payback. And the crowd were right. We had one member in the crowd going blah, 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 blah while they were talking. And we had a chant of boring, boring. Maybe not as loud as we would like to have been, or as loud as we were chanting at home. Out comes Cena to try and go after Ryback. The lumberjack throw him back into the ring. Down comes Ryback, only for him to go out the other side. The lumberjacks throw him back to the ring, and then for them to almost brawl, but the lumberjack hold them back. Okay, some use of the lumberjack, I guess. Some tease of that, because we've had a tease of the ambulance, a tease of the tables, and now a tease of the lumberjack. But the ending segment, I really didn't care. Go Cena and Ryback, have a great 3 stages of hell. And the other big news is that Mark Henry, someone who's been quite unhappy on Twitter, he's been saying how, what's going on about this internet, me retiring? In my heart, wrestling is where it's at. So Mark Henry is probably going to come back more furious as ever. Hopefully they're going to use this frustration and just have him as a monster. Not sure what he's going to do because everyone seems to be involved in something at the moment. But I'm looking forward to Mark Henry's return. Please share your thoughts on this Monday Night Raw. Give me the good, the bad and the ugly in the comment section below. I personally thought it was a good Raw. Payback hype, payback matches. And from me, NJ, what's up?